There was quite the showdown in federal court today as Blake Lively's attorneys faced Justin Baldoni's attorneys in a very pivotal summary judgment hearing before Judge Lyman. I was in the courtroom. I'm going to give you my firsthand account. I'm going to do things a little differently because I did a video right outside the courthouse that I'm actually going to play for you, as well as just some clips that I got outside of Blake Lively's lawyer, who totally ignored me. All good. A couple things that I want to say that I didn't really say in the video. Actually, you know what? I'll get to that after. I'll do all that after. I want to just get right to it. Here is the video outside when I thought maybe possibly they would have given me something. This is Matthew Bruno, one of Lively's attorneys, who did a majority of the arguments. And oh, you know what? I'll go ahead and I will quickly tell you the lawyers that did the arguments today. There was Jonathan Bach, Alexandra Shapiro, and Ellen Garofalo for Justin Baldoni's team. And Brian Friedman was also present. And Bach and Shapiro are actually Diddy's appellate lawyers. And then for Blake Lively, we had Matthew Bruno, we had Ezra Hudson, and Michael Gottlieb. Okay. All right. So this is the video when I tried to chase Matthew Bruno outside. Totally. And Ezra Hudson.
Hi there. Do you think this is going to go to trial? How do you feel like it went?
He's like, cool. Bye. Yeah, no problem. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put myself from today up on the screen. I'm going to make myself here disappear, and you can hear everything that I had to say. Really quickly, I want to add a couple things that I didn't include in the video. There were some arguments about the conduct of Jamie Heath, who is a producer, one of the founding members of Wayfair. The Lively's team had alleged a different account than he alleged about him walking into her trailer at one point. They are claiming that this fact of the matter, or what happened here in that instance, is for a jury to decide because they're undisputed facts. And that's kind of what the purpose of this whole hearing was, to determine what will a jury see, what is disputed, what is undisputed. I mean, I get into all of it, but again, I didn't mention anything about Jamie Heath. And also at the end of the hearing, the judge asked the defense just something along the lines of, is there anything that you want excluded that Lively's team is trying to push forward that wasn't in the original complaint? And they actually said yes. There was some kind of comment that Heath made about birthing a movie to Blake, and she, I guess, took that as some kind of sexual harassment, and they were like, we don't want that involved or included. I was like, wow, it's all just very petty. I'm not going to tell anyone how they should feel. If they felt like they were sexually harassed, I'm not going to tell you that you weren't. But I will say, just, being involved and covering all these different, very serious cases, this one felt a little odd at times. I mean, at one point, Jonathan Bach said, like, are we in federal court arguing about nuzzling? You'll see what I mean. And there was one more thing about Heath. I need to check my notepad. They basically had said that Heath, when he showed her this video of his wife giving birth that she alluded to initially was rhymes with corn. I'm not saying the word for the algorithm, okay? So don't at me. The defense, the plaintiff, Lively, said, she was offended. This is disgusting. And the defense was like, well, this is a scene that she was about to do, giving birth. So he thought this was relevant. He's also a producer. There's also his family in this video. And also he showed it to other men. This is not gender specific. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to pull myself up from earlier today and take myself off so you can watch my update.
I am sort of waiting out.
There we go.
Hi, everyone. I am outside of the federal courthouse downtown after the Lively Baldoni hearings just wrapped. I mean, it's basically summer out here. I am sort of waiting for Brian Friedman to come out. I gave it some time. He doesn't seem like he's coming out, so I'll just keep an eye on everything. But, overall, the tone I got from from today, which was a little over 3 hours, maybe 3 hours and 20 minutes, is that Judge Lyman is just sick of this case in general. It's very clear he doesn't really want this to go to trial, but he said initially that this hearing today is about three things, three motions: summary judgment, pleadings, and sanctions. And he allotted 1 hour per side for arguments. They, I believe the plaintiff, Lively, they went a little bit over, but they also, each side broke things down into 3 lawyers doing these arguments. So basically, Baldoni's side is arguing that this is a movie. This case is about a movie set, and Blake Lively should have known that there would be intimate scenes. They hired an intimacy coordinator. You know, she knew that there would be sex scenes, etc. And at first, I was a little worried because Judge Lyman kind of jumped in right away, and he was like, right, well, just because a movie has sex scenes or intimate scenes doesn't mean that the person or the actor signs up to be harassed. And I was like, ooh, this is not going to be great. But he ended up doing the same side or the same thing to Blake Lively's side, to the plaintiff's side. He pushed back on both sides a lot. So again, Bach was arguing the sexual harassment and retaliation, basically saying that it wasn't sexual harassment. Justin Baldoni was a director, and he brings up, you know, the dancing video, and the Lively side, the plaintiff side. Sorry, I'm probably going to go back and forth and saying plaintiff and Lively and defendant and Baldoni and Wayfarer, so just bear with me. But Bach said the plaintiff side, saying that Baldoni nuzzled her and, you know, and kissed her, and she did not consent to this. Bach is like, well, he's a director. This was his job. He was improvising. And also, as far as everybody else goes, women on set, nobody else was kissed or nuzzled in this way. He didn't harass anyone like that. This was simply 2 actors in love on a set, and this is kind of what happens. And when Lively's side was arguing that she needed to consent to all of the things he was doing in this dancing scene, Judge Lyman actually was like, well, wait, are you saying that a jury should decide every move that a director makes or everything that a director does on set? And it also goes back to the plaintiff side arguing that this was gender targeted, gender based, where the defense had arguments about Isabella Ferreira and a comment that was made to Isabella during a scene that Blake Lively was not present for. They pointed that out. And the defense was like, well, just so you know, this comment that he made about their scene, it was to both actors. It wasn't just to Isabella. It was to the male actor as well. Also, you know, Bach kind of called everything small potatoes in a way. He's just like, this is small potatoes. And at one point, the judge said, well, a bunch of little things, you know, they add up. So we need to look at everything in totality. And that's, again, another point where I was like, ooh, this might be a long day. But no, he, again, pushed back on both sides very much equally. Let's see. What else? Bear with me. Okay, so with retaliation, the defense is saying that they need to show an adverse act. What is the specific act? Much of it was just Baldoni pushing positive content about himself. It wasn't about him retaliating against Blake Lively and saying negative things about her. It was just, sorry, I'm looking for Friedman. It was all about just making him look good. And that's that. And let's see. They also said that they pointed out that Blake Lively, you know, leaked this story to the New York Times, and Lively's team said, you know, there's no proof that she leaked this. Also, they argued that Lively's own PR person, Leslie Sloan, also had argued like this is standard behavior to, you know, put forth good PR about someone if you anticipate something negative coming out, like Lively saying that he harassed her. Okay, so Bach also points out that Lively had Baldoni excluded from this book event. You know, Ryan Reynolds told his team that Baldoni was predatory, and that basically Lively had told Sony that she wouldn't promote anything with him. So Bach said he's allowed to respond to this without it being retaliation. This is standard PR practice. Oh, and then it was argued about Blake Lively's contract. That was a big point of contention. If she was an employee, if she was an independent contractor, and how all of this sort of made sense with, what she wants in damages, basically. And it turns out she never actually signed the contract. It's an unexecuted contract, but her team said that they have just basically an email overriding that she didn't have to sign it from Wayfair, and they agreed. But what's happening is this contract is being contested also because of California territory and New York territory. So that is a big point of contention. Also, they are saying that her team is saying she was not in control of anything. She was sort of just an actor on set, and her contract would prove that. And the defense is like, oh no, she was definitely in control because she wrote XYZ email, I think it was to Sony, saying that, she directed these actors, she rewrote the script, she did that. So she definitely was showing that, she had some sort of control. And then in turn, Lively's side was like, no, she was a contracted actor. She had to report to hair and makeup. She had to report to the set on time, just like any other contracted actor who was not in control. The judge he talked about defamatory statements, and he brought up Brian Friedman talking to the press and certain statements made, and their team argued that he is allowed to state his opinion about his client, and that's generally just, how it works. When it comes to sanctions, when they were trying to sanction the defense about the auto-deleted signal messages, basically the defense said that they can't really distinguish what would have been said or what was said in these auto-deleted signal messages. They also state that the defense said, this lawsuit didn't drop until December of 2024. So, why would we have saved those? Well, the Lively side, the plaintiff side said, no, when Lively dropped her legal stipulations about, if I come back to set after the writer's shutdown, this is what I need to happen or else I'm going to walk away. This was a legal letter and they should have anticipated litigation. And then they said they should have anticipated it further come August. And there was a reason for that. I'll have to look that up later. My notes are a mess. I have like 20 pages. But basically then the defense said, and then they said also they confirmed that they expected litigation. Like, this is an undisputed fact. The defense confirmed it. And I was confused. I was like, well, if they confirmed it and it's in writing, then like, why are we just talking about this? Well, the defense said that these auto-deleted signal messages, these were from the agency group, which was the crisis PR team hired for Baldoni. And she was like, this was for Justin's reputation, and it wasn't for anything that necessarily happened on set. She said, yes, we conceded to thinking there possibly could be litigation about sexual harassment on set, not about retaliation, about, a smear campaign. So she kind of, said that to clear the air. And the plaintiff also said, well, we know on Signal that the agency group was contacting Sage Steele and telling her what to do, what to say. People are gathering over there. Telling her what to do, what to say, when it comes to Baldoni. And, this was a smear campaign. This was retaliation, and we want sanctions. And the judge actually said, I think you're asking a lot, and you don't have enough concrete evidence that XYZ was said. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, a lot that Jonathan Bach said I thought was kind of funny. He said, look, I can't believe we're in federal court right now arguing about a nuzzle or a kiss. I mean, it was kind of funny. It got some laughter from the gallery. Yeah, people are back over there. I wonder if he's coming. I'm just looking at my notes. Sorry. Oh, sorry. They said that in August of 2024, it was discussed that the defense was going to go to war with Lively. That's why they were like, you should have known the litigation was coming. I mean, I'm paraphrasing, but yeah. And then I think the last sort of big thing here is they said that the scenario planning doc that was cited, that does not support any type of malice. That is standard practice. They said that I have so many notes. Oh, they also said, you know what? I'll go to the end because I feel like I kind of had it covered. But the judge asked both the defense and the plaintiff at the end. He asked me a question. He said to the defense, is there any evidence that Wayfair did not honor any veto rights in Blake Lively's offer letter? And they said, no, there's no evidence.
Okay, I'm getting myself back in here. It got cut off, but yes, they said no, there's no evidence that they did not honor her veto rights. And then the hearing ended with Lyman asking about the statement that was, if they didn't want anything included. This is to the defense, and that's when they mentioned the whole birthing a movie by Heath. So that was my recap outside of the court. I know this video is a little bit longer today, but there's so much going on, and I take so many notes, and I'm trying to get you guys everything. So stay tuned. I will be back in court for Luigi Mangione tomorrow in federal court. So I will have an update for you most likely by Monday, or you can head to lamag.com for the article and also our Twitter for my live update outside the courthouse. Thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do these pods every day.